Thank you, Nicole. Straight ahead, a family and community, how they're coping with tragedy following the death of a Columbus man run over by a train. Next, a special visit from Alabama's Attorney General to our area this morning, why he was in town. Plus, a busy day in politics nationally and at the Georgia Capitol as the governor delivers his State of the State. News 3 Midday starts right now.
On your side, this is News 3 Midday.
Good afternoon. I'm Greg Loyd. A busy afternoon of news. We're going to take a live look right now at the beginning of a historical moment in the nation's capital. House lawmakers said sometime around noon today they'd march, carrying formal articles of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate. The march not yet started. The chamber will begin to transform itself, though, into an impeachment court as the process shifts out of Speaker Nancy Pelosi's Democratic-run House to the Republican-majority Senate. Chief Justice John Roberts will preside at the trial, administering oath to senators who will serve as jurors and swear to deliver impartial justice. The full trial set to begin next week, and count on News 3 to follow it closely. To the big story, grief counselors comforting at Fox Elementary School this midday, offering what comfort they can to those who knew custodian Michael Davis, the man killed after being run over by a train in Columbus. This tragedy on the tracks happened near River Road and Veterans Parkway after 8 o'clock yesterday morning. The family of Michael Davis speaking exclusively to News 3, leaning on their strong faith for comfort. They remember the father of 5 as a strong man with a loving heart who will be greatly missed by his family.
The thing I'm gonna miss the most is my call. When we do call, when he called me, he said, "How you doing, sweet mother of mine?" And when we hang up, he said, "Goodbye, sweet mother of mine." So I'm gonna miss that. I'll never get that from him again.
Columbus police telling us the investigation to determine exactly what happened still will take a few days. Investigators continuing their probe into an alleged house of horrors where police say torturing children was a family affair. A tip led to a welfare check on children in Smith Station at a home along Lee Road 246 on Monday. Once there, investigators telling us they found evidence that 4 children had been locked in cages. The children's mother and great-grandparents all charged in the case. But this alleged horror could have easily continued, investigators say, if not for a tip.
We were notified by someone who became aware of the situation involving his children and made the effort to contact authorities and let us know. That is a critical component in this case, of course. And without that information, those children may still be in a perilous situation to this day.
66-year-old Pamela Bond faces aggravated child abuse, reckless endangerment, and tampering with evidence. She has a $103,000 bond. 69-year-old James Bond and 30-year-old Kyla Mann facing aggravated child abuse and reckless abandonment charges. Both of them held on a $122,000 bond. Well, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp looking to score an A+ at his second State of the State address as Georgia's governor. But his grade yet to be determined by legislators looking to slash the budget even more. The governor is spending a great deal of time on education in his speech to the state. He's telling teachers making their paychecks rise, one of his top priorities, despite widespread budget cuts. He wants to give them a $2,000 pay increase, something that could put him at odds with lawmakers pushing for more budget cuts.
I also want to thank this legislature for working together to champion education during the 2019 session. Together, we fully funded QBE for the 2nd year in a row.
And of course, we'll have more tonight on his State of the State address on News 3. A school in Auburn receiving special recognition in the state for excellence in safety. School board counselors, city leaders gathering at Lee Scott Academy on Academy Drive this morning in Auburn Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall presented the 2019 Safe School Award. Marshall speaking to the city's excellent commitment to local law enforcement and thanking older students for setting positive examples for the youth. 11 other public and private schools in the state awarded also. News 3 spoke with the head of the school, who says it's an honor to have the school recognized for safety practices.
This is a commitment, and they've actually recognized what we do. So it's been a great point of celebration within our staff.
Police Guide is again a shining example for the comprehensive nature of their plan, the integration of public safety into the school, but also the fact that the school students themselves take this very seriously.
Marshall says there were a total of 124 schools that were reviewed for their award. Now, don't miss out on breaking news or any big stories today. Download the News 3 app and be sure to turn on those push alerts. We are keeping our eye on a number of other big stories for you this midday. And first to Opelika, where police there need your help in identifying a suspect involved in a theft. Police saying a woman stole a wallet with multiple credit cards from a store in Tigertown. She was last seen wearing a gray hoodie, black Nike shirt, and jeans. If you have any information or recognize her in these surveillance photos, please contact Opelika Police. A date with death. It looms for a convicted murderer. Georgia officials are set to execute a man convicted of coldly killing a convenience store clerk more than 30 years ago. 58-year-old Jimmy Metters, you see him right there, scheduled to receive a lethal injection tonight at the Jackson State Prison. He was sentenced to death for the October 1987 murder of store clerk Don Anderson in Glenn County in the Brunswick area. Anderson was fatally shot in the chest and head. Well, Georgia's hemp farming program on hold until the state secures funding to oversee the crop. Georgia Agriculture Commissioner Gary Black asking lawmakers for $1.6 million over the next 2 years to fund a state hemp program. Adult sickle cell patients in our area now have a blood specialist to treat their inherited problem. The Association of Sickle Cell Lower Chattahoochee Region recently welcoming Dr. Anthony Anyabula. He will be at the clinic on North Avenue in Columbus once a month. His next visit set for mid-February. We want to thank you so much for watching WRBL News 3, your #1 source for news at midday. And when we return, we'll look at how the state of Alabama is trying to be sure your vote is very secure. First, here's Nicole.
And right now we still have clouds over the area, but notice that they're slowly decreasing from north to south. As we go into this afternoon, we may see a few peaks of sun. I'll track it all for you coming up in the next 10 minutes.
News 3 is on your side with Greg Loyd. And meteorologist Nicole Phillips has your first alert forecast.